Hey, what's up, everybody? Another beautiful Saturday here in Jacksonville, Florida. We are out here at the track for another practice day. I'm out here by myself today, but only going to be mainly doing a couple of tweaks, if anything, today. Just primarily trying to get down some more laps and get some seat time. But yeah, it's going to be fun, and we'll see how it goes. Hey, what's up? All right, so I've got a little bit of an update for you as to this practice session today. I came out, my first practice session went pretty good, pretty much picked up where I left off last week's practice session. Started with the tire pressure. It's about 60 degrees out here right now, 57 to 60 degrees out here right now. I started with my tire pressure at 13 psi on all fours. Didn't make any other adjustments. That's what I basically started out with, my baseline. Came down and I beat my high score, my fastest lap from last week. So by, I think, I have to check, maybe by 1/10 of a second, or maybe half a tenth of a second, about 5/100ths of a second, I think. But yeah, I did put down a 38.6 lap time on that first session. I came back in and I dropped the air pressure down from 13 psi to 12 psi. And while I had more consistent, and I'm running 12 lap sessions, while I had more consistent times in the 38s, with the lower tire pressure, I was not able to match my fastest lap time at 38.60. My fastest lap time on my second session was 38.64. So I'm going to bump my tire pressure back up to 13 to see how that does, but I'm also going to make one more chassis adjustment. I'm going to remove the front stabilizer bar to see how that affects my handling, and then we'll go from there. So just to show you what I'm talking about, here's this front stabilizer bar right here. It was recommended that I remove that to see how that affects my handling. He recommended that and said that it should handle a little bit better. So we'll take a look. I will do that on this next practice session, and we'll see how that goes. But I am going to bump up my tire pressure back up to 13 psi because it does seem like it handled a little bit better with the 13 psi. But we'll see. So here I'm trying a new camera angle, a camera facing me, and clearly with the clamp style mount on my front spoiler, there's just no way it was going to work. This actually was the session that I put down my fastest lap time for the day, but unfortunately I wasn't, because of the failure of the mount, I wasn't able to get any video of that session. Hey, what's up? Okay, so my third practice session, I removed the front chassis brace and immediately felt improvement. Definitely I can see it on my track times. So yeah, my previous fast lap was 38.60 seconds, and my new fast lap time is 38.46 seconds. Not only did I beat my fastest lap time, but my lap times consistently on this last session, out of 11 laps, 9 of them were in the 38-second range. So consistently with that chassis change, I am consistently in the 38-second range. I also did bump my tire pressure back up to 30 pounds. I'm sorry, 30 pounds, 13 pounds. And so between that and the chassis bar, I definitely felt the chassis. I could also feel it flexing a little bit more underneath me. So that obviously translated to a little bit better handling and faster times on the track. Looking at my Apollo app here, you can see here this is this last session here. 38:46 is my time, and so you can see out of all of my out of 11 laps here, they were all consistently in the 38-second range, except for 2 laps. So yeah, definitely getting more consistent with that chassis setup. Definitely consistently getting a better lap times. So my next tweak I'm going to make now is I'm going to move my front wheels in by 5 millimeters. No, I'm sorry, 10 millimeters. I'm going to take and I'm going to move my my front chassis, my front wheel track width. I'll show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take this thick spacer out, and I'm going to move the hub in. I think these are equivalent to 10 millimeters. So I'm going to do that, and we'll see what kind of effect that has. Solid job. And here's yet another, I guess you could say, failed attempt at another GoPro mount. Here I've got it mounted on the side, and it's just not really working properly. It's a little too low, it's a little too close to the seat, and so you don't really get a whole lot of view of the track or what's in front of you. So by the end of this session, the camera had actually fallen to the side, and so you were almost getting somewhat of a 90-degree view instead of being straight up. So yet again, this is another failed attempt at another view on the GoPro, but I figured I'd include it here just for giggles. So as a side note, you'll notice that my front wheel spacing, the adapters are as they were before. I moved them in, so this particular run was with the front wheels out at the location where I originally got the kart from. I will say, however, that moving them in by 10 millimeters, my times did suffer. I was unable to put down as fast a lap times as I had been consistently getting prior to that change, and so after that session I did move them back out to where they're currently at right now, which you can see on the video. And so because my times did suffer, seems like my handling suffered as well, I did move them back out, and we'll continue to run them out with the 30 millimeter spacing. So the remaining video for today is going to be compiled of video clips that I got to run with some other karters. One of the good things I enjoyed about today was that there were several other karts out there that were in my same class, or at least 4-stroke, that I got to run with, and it kind of gives me a little bit better, it gives me some practice as to getting out there and actually running on the track with other racers, because one of the big things is you never know what another racer's going to do. If somebody's going to spin out in front of you, like it just happened, and my rear wheel, my right rear wheel got off the pavement and just completely spun me around. But it was good practice to get out there with other karters, because it's one thing to run by yourself, round and round on the track. It's another thing when you're running with other karters, because now you got to pay attention to what they're doing. You got to match their speeds, and you've got to continue to pay attention. This particular kart that I'm coming up on right now, he's also running basically in the same class as myself. He's a younger kid, so we would not be in the same race together, but we're pretty much running the same types of karts. And so as far as speed-wise goes, the karts are about the same speed. Of course, I'm a little bit heavier, and my driving skill is a little bit better than his. But one thing coming up here, and you'll see here in this next segment, is he brakes way too hard going into that corner, and I didn't expect it. And so, I ended up bumping him, and I ran off the road. But those are just some of the things that running with other racers, you gotta pay more attention. It definitely tests your skills, and so that was one of the good things that I got out of today's race, is being able to run with other racers on the track. This particular racer, he is more in my class weight. This is an adult running this number 33, and so he looks like he would be more in a class that would be running in the same weight class as myself. And so I was able to run with him for a little bit, and until I was able to pass him. But it was fun to be able to run with other karts on the track as well. Now this kid right here, he was really fun to run with. He's running in like a junior class. I don't even think he's like 15 years old. I think he's even younger than 15. But he was. I was talking with his grandfather, and he runs in a 320 class, 320 pound class. I just give you an idea. That's obviously the kart and the driver, basically everything at weigh-in can be no less than 320 pounds. My weight class that I'm running in is the master's class, and that is 390 pounds. So just in the difference in classes, that's a 70-pound difference. Now, I'm by no means running at 390 pounds. I'm 230 pounds myself, so I'm closer to the 400-pound range, kart and driver. And so if he's got running a lot of weights on his car too to get him heavier, but it was a lot of fun running with him, because you'll notice on the straightaways I was gaining on him, and so we're pretty much running neck and neck. I was able to reel him in the curvy section. He wasn't really gaining or putting much distance on me, and so I was able to reel him in on the straightaways, because he was running a one-tooth larger sprocket than myself, so my kart had faster top end speed going down the straightaway. So I was able to reel him in after a couple of laps, but it was fun running with him. He's a kid, but he's a good racer. Definitely he's going to continue to grow to be an excellent racer, but it was a lot of fun to drive with him. and I was just having fun because he was I was watching him, but he didn't make any erratic moves or anything like that. So it was nice to be able to ride with somebody and run with somebody who's skilled and who you can kind of anticipate his moves and everything, kind of comparable to your own. Unlike that other kid that I ran up on, I wasn't expecting him to brake that hard going into this corner, because there's absolutely no need to brake that hard going into that corner, and I totally unexpected it. Although it was, my mistake. I should have given him a little bit more space and let off the gas and started to brake a little bit sooner. But those things happen. But yeah, it was. You can see here that how I was finally able to get up on him, and just running my line and trying to, with the weight difference and everything. Especially with his gearing, I would have thought, combined with his gearing being a little bit lower gear or higher gearing than myself, and also his weight difference between us, I would have figured he'd pull away from me in the curvy section. But I was able to stay right there with him, and then by the time I got to the straightaway, I was able to pull him in and get right up on his bumper. And then this big curve, we pretty much leave it flat out. And you'll notice at some parts he kind of pulls away from me a little bit, just because he can get around these curves a lot quicker than I can because of his weight. But putting down a combination with putting down some decent lines myself, and then getting into this curve here and taking it, doing a little bit better line there, I can come out of here with a little bit faster speed already, and then here I was able to get around him, which was pretty cool. But you'll notice that now that I have him behind me, I'm kind of worried about making a mistake or whatever, or trying to keep him there, right? So I end up making a mistake on this next curve here where I go a little too wide. I end up getting into the grass, and it kills my momentum, and then he's able to basically get up and get back around me. But those are good things that, like I said, I was enjoyed practicing today, because it definitely gives me that feel for racing somebody else, and and definitely is something to hone my skills in, as far as being on the track with other racers, because this is just one racer here. And it's just the two of us. However, when you're in a pack of racers, with 10 to 15 other racers, or possibly even more, you may have more people in front of you, and if you're not in the front of the pack, then you got to pay attention even more so to what everybody in front of you is doing. So I can't wait till the next race. I end up at the end of this video, I end up running out of gas. You'll notice my engine starts to pop and starts to sputter because I ended up running out of gas, because I got out there running with him and I just didn't want to come off the track. It was just a lot of fun to ride with him. I was putting down some extra laps that I hadn't anticipated, but I just got into the groove with running with him, and it was just so much fun. I didn't want to stop running, but my engine had other ideas and said I can only run so long on low fumes, so I ended up bringing it in and calling it a day. that's a wrap for another practice day. So here's a couple things that I was able to accomplish today. So I made some improvements, definitely. I laid down my fastest lap time yet at a 38.46. Unfortunately, I don't have video of that lap because I had problems with the GoPro. So instead of coming in and just stopping, I just left the GoPro, didn't fool with it, and I proceeded to run my practice laps. But I got plenty of good video anyways today. Yeah, 38.46. That's good. It's I think it's let me see, about 1500ths of a second better than my previous time, which was 38.6. So I put down 38.46 today, and that came right after I replaced when I removed the front chassis brace, the front bar. That is the practice session that I got from that. As the day carried on and as the day progressed, the temperature got a little bit cooler, and I just couldn't get down. I couldn't get down into the better than the mid 38s. After like my last practice session of the day, the best I could get was a 38.6 again. So it may be just that the weather's getting cooler, tires aren't gripping as much, but either way, when it was earlier in the day, the sun was up and it was warmer, traction obviously was probably a little bit better on the track. So either way, I had a blast, had some great video. I was able to run with another kid, and you'll see some video of that. That was pretty fun. But yeah, it was awesome. I had a lot of fun, and I don't think I'm going to be practicing again next weekend. I think I'm going to sit that weekend out and just get ready for the race on February the 19th. But I hope y'all enjoy the videos for today, and we will talk to y'all later.